What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Realms of Metal. We got another special episode for you guys today. We got the one, the only Issa Brutal from Disgrace, all the way from Italy on the Realms of Metal. Thank you so much for coming on today. It's a pleasure to meet you and talk to you.
Hi, it's a pleasure for me to be here.
Yeah.
Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah, so
Ciao
I'm not gonna
from
lie to you.
Italy.
It's not like I've been a fan from the beginning. Like I think I got on Instagram a couple years ago, and somehow I came
Really?
across you on Instagram and started following you, and then that's what led me to your band. So I've been a fan for a little bit now. I went on your Bandcamp and I bought all your stuff digitally. You know, because
Really?
I don't have hard copies of any of your stuff. I just have it digitally. And thanks for coming on. And so anybody out there who's not familiar with Disgrace, just describe the band a little bit. Tell us a little bit about the band.
Okay, we are an old school thrash death metal band. We started in 2007. It's been a while though. We've been around.
Right.
And I formed this band with the first singer, female singer, Sangre Delin, and we recorded the first demo tape. At the beginning, it was just a recording project, actually, because I wasn't playing any band at the time, and I came across Sangre Delin because she was writing a book. She was also a writer, a music writer. She was writing a book about the 80s. And so when, in the late 80s, I played in an old Swedish thrash metal band called Ice Age, and they were quite popular at the time. So she knew about this band, and she wanted to ask me a few questions about the 80s, the metal scene in the 80s. And so that's the way we met. Then she told me that she was a singer, that she was really into thrash, but at the time she was just singing in a tribute band. And I said to her, listen, at the moment I'm not playing any band, but I have recorded some of my songs, and why don't you try to write some lyrics for those songs that I have recorded? And she got very excited about that idea. And so she wrote the lyrics and the vocals for my songs. The first song was actually Forest of Fear, and we still play the song.
Yeah, I like that one. That's one of my favorites from you guys.
It's quite simple, but it's quite catchy.
The simplest riffs are usually the best,
Yeah, I mean, a very old school, thrash metal old school. And then we said, we got on so well that we said, why don't we find a drummer and a bass player, and then we form a proper band, we start playing shows, gigs, and write an album maybe. And so we find the first drummer and bassist, and that's it. And now we recorded the first demo tape.
Now you recorded the first demo in 2009, it was, right? And you started the band in 2007.
That's right. Yeah.
How long were you playing guitar up to that point? Like when did you pick up a guitar?
I was very young. I was about 14. I got into playing the guitar because I was really into heavy metal. I just started to listen to heavier bands. I actually started with Led Zeppelin, Deep Purple, when I was 11, 12. Scorpions, it was around 81, 82.
Yeah.
And then I was really a big Metallica fan. When Kill 'Em All came out, and that's what really got me into thrash metal.
Right.
That album and Show No Mercy and Voivod as well.
Yep.
I really like Voivods, and after that, Creator, all the 80s band, like Testament and Megadeth. Yes, and so I started to play the guitar. Got be lost.
It's funny you say that when you were
Yeah,
14, because like I was telling you with
yeah,
my daughter is also 14, and she's going to be
yeah.
starting to play guitar a little bit. And like when I let her watch your videos and she sees you like shredding, like it gives her inspiration to pick up the guitar and like, so I can do this too. It's so great, you know?
I got inspiration from my friends. At the time, we didn't have any socials, no. I mean, our resources were very limited. We didn't. I mean, we could listen to heavy metal just by radio a little bit, but especially music was spread through friends,
Yep.
Passing words, and we used to go out quite a lot as well, more than now. Now we tend more to stay in front of the computer and socialize,
I know, right?
in
Yeah.
this way. At the time we had to get out, to meet our friends,
Right.
and we had the metal meetings, metal meeting points where I was meeting my friends, and then that's the way we started to play in a band, because with our friends just jamming,
Yeah.
and we could hardly play the instrument. We go to the rehearsal room for the first time.
Yeah. Well,
We decided at one point, we just decided, oh, let's have a go,
yeah.
with a couple of power chords.
Yeah.
We just
You know
booked
what?
the rehearsal, and we
Things are
had to go.
things are so much different now. I mean, we can get on the internet
Yeah,
now and pretty much listen to anything we want, just put it on
yeah,
YouTube. But back in the 70s, 80s, like we didn't have that luxury, so to get exposed to music, you had to like go to the record store. You had to hang out with your
yeah,
friends who maybe they were
yeah,
listening to something that you didn't know about and you got exposed to it
yeah,
that way.
exactly,
It was much
exactly.
different back then, than it
Yeah,
is now.
yeah. And the same about learning an instrument. Now you can go on YouTube, you find so many lessons if you want to learn a song.
Yep.
At the time, we had to play the song and try to catch the tune,
Yeah.
by hearing.
By ear. Yeah.
Yeah, because it was easier to learn from a friend. Maybe there was somebody who was better than you, where you could learn it better than you could, because
Yep.
it wasn't easy to learn a song, just by listening to it.
Right.
And that's how I started to play the guitar. I took lesson from a friend, a schoolmate, and she even lent me the instrument, because I didn't have the guitar at the time,
Mhm.
and it was just an acoustic guitar. Then I said, listen, I don't want to play acoustic guitar. I want to play some heavy stuff.
Yeah.
So I went to a record music shop, where a guitar shop. I went to a guitar shop. I swapped my very nice acoustic guitar with an electric guitar. And then I said, from now, I want to learn to play the electric guitar,
Yeah.
because I want to go to the rehearsal with my friends. There was another friend called, my very first band. I was about 15, and it was an all-female band. It was called the Silk, Satin and Lace.
Okay.
And it was more like a glam band,
Right.
not really thrash. We could play, a few chords. There was at the bass there was a friend of mine called Elena. She was my same age, 14. She just picked up the bass. She didn't even know, how to move the fingers, but we learned on the way, all together. And then I decided to take some lessons because I wanted to improve. I went to a few guitar teachers, and for me, I have to say that I learned more from the other members in bands I played rather than from guitar lessons.
Right.
I have to be honest.
Yeah, I really love your guitar tone, especially on the Fetus and Fetu record. I dig your guitar tone a lot. I think it's great.
Oh, thank you.
So you've got the
Yeah,
one
really.
demo, and then you got the 3 full lengths, and the last full length was the Fetus and Fetu. Okay. Now you have
Yes, Fetus and Fetus, this one.
on that record, the singer that was on that, she's no longer in the band, and you have another singer, correct?
Yes. I don't know what happened with the pandemic breakdown. She disappeared.
Yeah.
She's still alive because I've heard that she's still doing things, not in the music.
Right.
I think she gave up music as long as I know.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. We're not in contact anymore. She
So
disappeared.
she pretty much just left the band.
She just deleted all the socials. She's not around anymore. I don't know. She didn't want to be a singer.
So how'd you find a new singer? Her name is Deb, right?
Yeah, it wasn't easy to find a new singer,
Yeah.
especially a female one with that kind of voice.
Right.
I find her on the internet, of course. I didn't know her. She's a young girl, but she's very talented, and she likes our stuff. When I go in contact with her, I ask her, "What do you think of our music? Do you like the stuff we do?" Because I really like your voice. I watched some of her videos on YouTube, and she said, "Oh yeah, I really like it's great your stuff." And she came to the rehearsals, and she did great.
Yeah, I like her. I watched a couple of clips. I don't know if it was on Instagram that you guys posted it or Facebook. I'm not really sure, but I did watch like a live set or a live song with her singing, and she did great. She did really good.
Yeah,
Like she
and
fits it.
I mean, probably the situation in the States is very different. Probably you got more singers, play singing. I mean, you got more female singers play heavy stuff, like she does. But in Italy, it's very, very difficult.
Yeah.
They're all into Nightwish and the kind of singing, which sucks for me. For me, that's no metal.
Right.
I mean, they are very good singers. Nothing to say about that.
Yeah.
Very well prepared. But I mean, I like that kind of music. I like metal. I've been in the metal scene for 40 years now. I'm 53, so I was 12, 13. And
You know what
it's
I
40
like?
years.
On that Fetus and Fetu record, the opener, Deliverance, you kind of put that operatic vocal in the background, right? And that kind of adds like an eeriness to that track that I really like. So how'd you come up with that?
Well, because DL, she studied opera. She had a diploma in opera. I don't know how you say in English, you just she went to the conservatory. How do you call? No, maybe it's not the right translation. Just give me a minute.
It's okay.
Yeah, she went to the school where you learn to sing opera.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, lyrica.
So she sang that,
like Pavarotti.
Right. So she actually sang that part that you used on the song.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Of course.
Cool.
Of course. Yeah, she sang that, and Deb, the new singer, she's singing that as well because she can sing opera, because they both came from Sicily, in south of Italy, and that's kind of music. Opera is very popular in the region, so they go lots of opera schools, you know.
That's actually where my great grandparents are from, Sicily.
Really?
Yeah,
So you are a little bit Italian.
A little bit, yeah.
Whereabouts in Sicily, you know?
I'm not 100% sure. I just know Sicily. So
okay. I've been there once. So it's a nice place. Have you been there?
No, never
Have you
been
been
to
to
Italy.
Sicily?
No.
Yeah, if you get a chance to go, it's very, very nice.
Yeah,
It's a
I'd love
nice
to.
place. Lots of culture, buildings, the sea, the beach is. There's a volcano as well. You got everything there. Food is great.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah, yeah.
So what's the metal scene out there like? When I think of Italy, of course, the first band that pops in my head is like Lacuna Coil, you know, who I've seen here in the States.
Yeah,
Flesh
of
God
course.
Apocalypse, who I've seen. Bulldozer, Rhapsody of Fire is another one. Hour of Penance is another one. What's the scene out there like?
I mean, the big bands are doing okay, like Lacuna Coil, but especially because they go abroad. But they're quite popular in Italy too.
Yeah.
The local scenes, the local bands, the underground scene is very bad. It's never been as bad as
Really?
today.
Yeah. Just not a lot of
Yes,
bands out there?
there's no support at all. Metal people, metal kids go to big concerts, don't support the local bands anymore. I
No.
think it's more like the new generation is
Yeah.
like that.
That's a shame.
They don't bother. Maybe there are too many bands around. They're not interested too much. And then they are very, very brainwashed by the media. So they get to listen to what you find on the internet.
Right.
You know, like for example, now in Italy, Maneskin are so big, but it's like everywhere in the world because they've been pumped so much by the media, but they've got big marketing work behind, and in the radio they keep playing that band, you know, and so it's sad, but we don't have our personal taste anymore.
Yeah.
It's like nowadays the metal scene is pushed to listen to the bands that are and they got more money, you know, to be promoted rather than
so when
the
bands
talented
like
ones.
say you US bands or whoever bands they come through Italy, how do you manage to get it? Do you get on any of those bills? Are you asked by somebody, do you want to open up this show, or have you done any of that?
Exactly. I mean, in the 80s, it wasn't like that at all. I think it was like everywhere, it wasn't like that. But now, if you want to open well-known band, you have to pay. You have to pay quite a lot.
Oh, really?
It's the same, yes. And or you play the agency. And then apart from paying the agency, you pay to play as well. So that's again,
pretty expensive.
You get to see the same bands opening all the time because they are the ones that have got a big agency that they pay for, or they got the money to pay for. For opening this concert, because some people they think, oh, okay. I mean, for me, I really believe in my band. I really enjoy playing in front of lots of people. The only way is to pay. So I've got the money. Why not?
Right.
So they're happy like that, you know. I mean, it's great because you can post on the internet that you're opening for this big band, that you got lots of exposures, you go lots of likes, and you feel like you are a famous musician.
Right, right.
I mean, you are famous because at the end you become famous.
Sure, yeah.
You are everywhere.
Yep.
So you pay for being famous.
Yeah.
Basically.
So the last record came out in 2020. Now, are
See.
you guys working on new stuff now? Are you always
Yes.
coming up with new stuff?
Because the new members joined the band in February. So we had to catch them up on the new song, on the old songs, you know, to play a few shows. Now we got about an hour, so we can manage to play shows, you know, if we got opportunity. And we just started to work on new material. Okay. So we are covered if we want to play some shows, but at the same time now we really want to, you know, release at least a new single before Christmas. We'll see.
Cool.
And then I mean, it's going to take some time. Probably in the spring we're going to see if we can kick out a new album. We'll see.
Cool. So
we're working on it.
The band now is you, Deb on vocals, or Votio on bass. Am I pronouncing it right? Okay, Overteo. Okay. And
I'll tell you why. Overteo, because his name is Matteo, which is Matthew in English. Matteo, but is a big Overkill fan.
Me too.
So that's why over plus tail, Overteo.
Actually, you know what? I was just I went to a local show last weekend. It was just a couple of tribute bands. It was a Slayer tribute band and an Iron Maiden tribute band. And Bobby Blitz from Overkill was there at the venue hanging out. Awesome, right?
I met him in 1989.
Really? Yeah.
When he played supporting Slayer.
Uh-huh.
In
89 Milan. Was what? Years of Decay, right? That record?
Yes, and Bobby Gustafson was there, and Sid Falk.
I met him too. Way back in the day, I met him. Like when he just got kicked out of Overkill. It was maybe like a year later. We were at this club in New York City, and we met him there. And I recognized him right away, and I was kind of scared to go up to him because he looked fucking mean. Like he looked like a mean dude. But I did go up to Bobby Gustafson. Yeah. But I went up,
Bobby, yeah.
But I did go up to him and I introduced myself because I'm a big fan, and he was super nice. He was a very nice guy, and he didn't have too many. He didn't have too many nice things to say about the Overkill guys, but I just kind of kept my mouth shut. And
yeah, he was mad because he said that they stole him some.
But he's I love his guitar tone. He's always been one of my favorite guitar players for thrash, you know. So
no, I mean, he's a good guitarist. Yeah. It's just a bit moody. He's very Italian in that way, because he told me that his father or his mother. No, his mother. His mother is from Naples or around there, and he came to Italy a few times, you know, visiting the places where you know, the grandparents were from, and well, I mean, sometimes we talk a little bit on Facebook sometime as well, and it's got strong personality.
Oh yeah,
you know?
oh yeah. I love him. He's one of my favorites. And then rounding out your lineup, you've got Chris. I'm not even going to try and pronounce his last name on drums.
It's not. It's a nickname.
Okay.
Psycho Calamaro, because he's a very good cook.
Okay.
He's very good with barbecues, and you know, he's a chef, very very good cook.
So you're
Psycho Calamaro. Calamaro is a fish.
Right. Yeah.
So he's very good at cooking calamaris.
Okay.
And Psycho plus calamari. That's the translation of his nickname, you know.
That's pretty cool. So your songwriting process, does everybody pitch in, or you come up with the riffs and then give them to everybody else, or how does that work?
Yeah, basically that's it. I come up with some guitar riffs and bring them into the rehearsals, and we start jamming, or I record them and I send them first of all to the drummer, because once you got the drummer, the bass lines are quite easy to put on. You know, he follows the drums and that's it. And then at the end, we put some vocals. Let's say that the vocals are the last part of the songwriting.
Right. Gotcha. So you mentioned earlier that, you were a thrash fan in the beginning, Metallica and Megadeth and Slayer and all that. Like, what are those your favorite bands as well? Like, what's your go-to bands that you always go, favorite records of yours that you always listen to that never come out of the rotation?
Oh my God, I'm gonna sound like a boomer. I listen to many sort of music. My favorite kind of metal is thrash, death metal school, but I listen to all sort of old school metal.
Right.
So I mean, I really like Slayer, Testament, as I said, Overkill, and whatever. I also liked a lot Dokken, Yngwie
I
Malmsteen.
love the old Doc, and I think it's great.
Yes, and all sort of that kind of. I even listened to Bon Jovi.
Yeah. When I was a kid, I did. I mean, you got to start somewhere.
Yes, I saw. I mean, in the 80s, I was listening to everything. White Lion. Or I
Twisted
used to go
Sister,
to.
Quiet Riot,
Yes, exactly. Twisted Sister, Quite
Grim
Right,
Reaper, maybe.
Motorhead, and Judas Priest,
Yeah.
or whatever.
Yep.
Pantera in the 90s, and Coroner, Carcass. I really like Carcass in the 90s. I discovered a few new bands, that I really like Carcass. I mean,
Yeah.
Carcass were around in the 80s too, but I mean, one of my favorite is of course in the 90s, and the Coroner as well. Some of
Yeah.
the best albums they did.
You
I
like
also listened to Cynic and Dream Theater in the 90s.
Yeah.
The first one in Dream Theater, then the started.
Do you like Heartwork from Carcass?
Yes, that's what I was saying.
I
Is
love that one. Yeah.
probably my favorite.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I really like Bill Steer as a guitarist.
That's such a great record.
But
Yeah.
in Carcass, he gives the best.
Yeah. Right.
He plays in other bands like Angel Witch. I saw him play in, in other bands, not just in Carcass. But I think Carcass, that album is a masterpiece.
Amazing,
Me,
amazing record.
yes, like Death,
Right. Yeah.
and the Zero Tolerance or other albums, in that period.
How about biggest guitar influences? Like what guitar players made you want to pick up a guitar?
I know he's not a great guitarist, but I mean, for me, it could come at, I mean, if I have to go back
Yeah.
to the beginning, when I started playing the guitar, it was definitely Kirk Hammett. I liked his melodic guitar solos.
Yep.
Then I really liked Malmsteen,
Yeah.
but of course, that was out of my reach.
Yeah.
But I really liked his songs, the songs he wrote.
Yeah.
The Queen is in Love, all this kind of 80s stuff.
Yeah.
For me, I mean, I listened to those songs over and again. It's not just a great guitar player for me.
Mm-hmm.
And Joe Satriani, Steve Vai at the time.
Yep.
Then in the 90s, I lost interest, to be honest.
Yeah.
Other guitar players. I mean, I know I'm a guitar player, but I get more into bands rather than musicians. I don't know how
Right.
to say. You know,
Yeah.
you can be a great musician, but if you don't write anything that excites me,
Yeah, I mean,
or
it all comes down to songwriting, right? I mean, you could be the best
yeah,
musician
yeah,
in the world, but if you can't
exactly,
write a good song, then probably not
exactly.
many
That's
people are
my
going to listen.
thought.
Yeah, I agree.
Because
I
you
like
don't
good
need to be
songs.
a great guitarist, but then if you write very good songs, it makes you much better than
Like
guitar heroes.
I think of Mustaine, I think of Gary Holt. They're not only are they great
Yeah,
guitar players, but they're great songwriters.
exactly,
Just they blow my doors off.
definitely. I
Yeah,
mean, Megadeth, the songs, the, amazing,
he's
the
amazing
songwriting.
songwriter. So,
The same for Metallica. Metallica are not the best musicians, skilled musicians on the world, especially when they started.
and they say that
But
too. They'll
wrote
come out and
songs.
say we're not the best musicians. They write good songs.
But when I remember the first concerts I went to, in the 84, 85, the energy they had on stage was unbelievable.
Can't
You
match
you
it.
wouldn't
Yeah.
care about the mistakes. You didn't give a shit.
Nope.
You were really involved. In the show,
Hmm.
in the concert.
Yeah.
And the same for Exodus. I saw them with Nuclear Assault, another band that. Those bands had an energy on stage,
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
yeah, I still, goosebumps.
You
I still,
it's funny you say that because you mentioned Nuclear Assault and like I'm getting the chills because I remember like the last time I saw Nuclear Assault, like when I go to see my favorite bands, I feel like I'm the only one there. Like nobody else is there. It's just me and the band, and I'm just like zoned in. It's an amazing feeling.
yeah, yeah, and I mean, I listen to new bands too, but I don't know what it is. More maybe the atmosphere, because it's a different time, different atmosphere nowadays. But it's not easy for me to get the same emotions,
Right.
that I used to. Maybe it's because of me. Maybe it's not them. But I don't know.
So you guys
Yeah,
are writing new material. That's very
yeah,
exciting. You said you're going to try and come out with a single by the end of the year.
yes,
That's
exactly.
super
We're
exciting.
working on that, and we want to record a video with a new lineup.
Right,
We
right.
recorded a video with Partner in Crime.
Okay.
We got an official video out with that lineup and for that album.
Hmm.
And now it's time we record a new video with the new lineup
Gotcha.
because we're a different band. I mean, we still have a similar sound, but we are a different band.
So, like you personally, aside from metal and music and guitars, what are some of your hobbies? Like horror movies? Like what are you into
Yeah,
besides music?
you got it at the first sight. Horror movies. I watched them all,
Yeah, okay,
and I'm really into since I was a kid,
right.
of course. And I'm into tarot reading and
Okay.
magic.
Yep.
I could show you some of my tarots and books, and yeah. So that's one of my favorite hobbies. It's just an hobby.
Yeah.
What else? I like traveling a lot. I try to travel as much as I can, meet
Yep.
people.
Hmm.
What else? Other hobbies? No, that's about it.
Okay.
It's like apart from work, you don't have too much time, time left. That's a problem.
So
You should have more hours.
is there anything else you want to tell everybody out there that maybe I didn't ask you or you want everybody to know about the band or what's going on?
Um, well, we would love to go and play abroad at one point.
Yeah.
When I was in the 80s, I had a chance the chance to play abroad quite a lot, especially in England, in Holland. I played quite a lot in Holland, in Germany. I never played in the States.
No.
That's a shame because our record label is American, Malevolence Records. Actually, I would like to say hello to our, how would you say, record label, manager.
Is that Angry Nate? Is that Angry Nate?
Nate is
Angry
called.
Nate? Yeah.
Do you know him?
When I was on Facebook years ago, we were Facebook friends, and
really?
I actually ordered from him a couple times. So
yeah, it's
I know of him.
I mean, we became friends, and then he published Fetus in Fetu. I really liked him because he really supports the underground.
Yep.
And I mean, we became friends. He's always asking me about the band and what we're doing. And he sold a few copies of our CDs in the States. He's always helped us with the CDs, just spreading the word about our CDs and on the socials. Yeah.
And any new music that you're coming out with is going to be with him on Malevolence, right?
I hope so. Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely going to ask him to be involved. And I know he's going to say yes, because I know I'm going to persuade him.
So how can before we wrap up, how can everybody follow you? What I'll do is I'll link in the bottom of the video. I'll link your Instagram, Self Disgrace's Instagram, your Facebook page.
Yes.
Anything that you want me to link, let me know, and I'll link it below.
Yes, we got Bandcamp. So we got Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, few video on YouTube, and you can always contact us on the socials by messengers.
This way everybody can follow you.
We always reply, whatever. We always reply. Stay in touch, and hopefully I'll meet you in person one day.
Yeah, that'd be great. Well, if you ever get a tour in the States, I'll be there and check it out.
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah. I've been to the States 20 years ago. Yes, I went all around California, and then in New York, Florida. I went to Florida, and as I said, I like traveling. Cool. And I loved the States. I had so much fun. It's just a bit expensive. The flight ticket is a bit expensive, and then over there it wasn't too expensive.
Right.
The food and everything else is not expensive. It's just a flight ticket.
A flight, yeah. Right.
And if you come to Italy one day, we're here.
Never
know. I'm in Bergamo near Milan.
Yeah, okay.
If you want to buy some fashion clothes, eat some good food.
I don't have much of a fashion sense. I don't know if you can tell, but
I never buy clothes in Milan, so don't worry. It's too expensive for me. Anyway, it was great to meet you.
Yeah, thank you so much for coming on. I really enjoyed this. Like I said, I'm a big fan of yours, and I'm going to link all your stuff below so everybody can follow you. Everybody out there, support Self Disgrace. Go on their Bandcamp, buy their stuff. I think I got all their releases for under $10 on the Bandcamp. I mean, you can't beat it.
Yes. So, actually, if you want to buy the CDs and you want to save on the shipping costs, you go to Malevolence Records, and they ship from the States. So so you can have the physical CDs.
That's great to know, because the shipping is outrageous. Like, I just ordered something from Greece a couple weeks ago, and it was like $40 to get it here. It was ridiculous.
Yeah. No, it's ridiculous. Yeah, I agree. But
we'll wrap it up. Thank you again for hanging with us here on the Realms of Metal. Like I said, we were super honored, and follow Self Disgrace and support this band. They're absolutely killer. Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you. Ciao. Grazie. Ciao.
Right. Okay. I stopped recording.
Yes. Good.